Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We're not defaulting on our debt, not now and probably not later, although even now we're just talking about putting the reckoning, the real tough votes off by a couple of months. So this has just become another ugly episode in a long-running feud between both parties over how to handle the debt ceiling. It's been ratcheted up by how Republicans have handled it and used it as even more of a weapon than they have in the past.
It's always the Republicans' fault. Everything is the Republicans' fault. Everything. Second gunman in Grassy Knoll, Republican. Oh, my goodness. It is. Look, it's partisan politics. That's all it is. No more, no less. Partisan politics is what you get at a time like this because that's what your people are looking for you to do. And then the other side comes out and says what they say, right? And we go back and forth.
My position on this remains what it always has been, which is I'm not going to vote for a debt ceiling increase. I'm just not. I'm just not. The Democrats are the ones who have run up this bill. I don't agree with their spending. I don't agree with their plans to spend it anymore, and I'm not going to help them.
Not helping him, Josh Hawley. I'm not helping him. I'm not helping him. I'm Josh Hawley. First of all, no. This is on you guys right now. This is on you as much as it is them because we're paying for stuff from last year. Who was in control last year? Now, some of it, look, I'm saying both parties because they both act like, well, we didn't get anything. Like no Democrat got anything out of any of this stuff. They suspended the debt ceiling 2 years ago so they could spend like drunken sailors, and that included the Republicans. So here we are. Here we are. Nothing is going to change. They're going to do what? Get it done. It's that simple. That's it. It's that simple. Somebody will say, well, we'll do this. And then McConnell will say, well, I'm not going to do that. And then we're going to say, we're going to do this. And we'll say, we really don't like McConnell.
I don't think this is about trust. This is about, he has known him a long time, but this is about whether you're going to be a leader and take steps that are not based on political calculations and more based on what's in the interest of the United States and the full faith and credit of the United States.
Yeah. It'll get done. That's what happens in politics. McConnell's kind of offered a little something. Hey, we could push this out a little longer so we could go through stuff. Oh, Chad. It's partisan BS. Don't worry about it. We're going to be all right. On the other side of things, we're sitting in a situation where the coronavirus is, well, the coronavirus. There's a great article today in the Washington Post about Fauci and his time to go. It was actually a Hugh Hewitt radio host, but we've been saying this for months. And for whatever reason, you don't like Fauci, you love Fauci. We've turned Fauci into a political puppet at this point in time. And yes, some of that is on him. And let's be real, the media's turned it into, they've got a documentary. It's the greatest thing in history. He has bounced around on numerous occasions, been wrong on numerous occasions, and quite frankly, flopped at times and lied to us. Straight out lied to us. Straight out just said, nah, you don't need to wear a mask. It's not going to affect us. You don't need to wear a mask. Don't worry about it. It's not going to affect us. He has missed on more than a few occasions. At the same time, the left turned him into a hero, and here we are. And the article's very interesting about the fact that he's just completely tone deaf. You are. You're tone deaf. At this point in time, you're on television telling people, I don't know about, Christmas, and I don't know about whether or not we can, it's too soon to tell. Maybe we could have Christmas. We might not be able to have. You could have Christmas if you vaccinated. You guys screwed it up. You guys did. But we could have Christmas. And that's what I said is, yes, if you're vaccinated, go have Christmas. Watching the Dodger game last night, about 56,000 people in there. Are they all vaccinated? Well, that's going to be the new thing, But Flash forward to football games. Only a few teams are requiring vaccinations. Throughout the South, there's 100,000 people in stadiums, movie theaters. People are living their life. They don't want to live controlled by the government anymore. LA is about ready to put on the most restrictive, insane, and I'm talking about insane coronavirus passport thingy-mabobber is the best way to describe it. We're talking about, so they voted 11-2. It's going to take effect in early November. Negative coronavirus tests within 72 hours to enter certain places. What places are those? Bars, gyms, restaurants, other outdoor or indoor facilities, including things like malls. Malls. Businesses are worried because the difference is you're not the only game in town. People go across the street into Orange County and say, fine, I'll go here. Other people will go into, Ventura County and other places if they have the opportunity and are up a little bit further north. As the things continue to these numbers continue to decline, you're putting in measures that are insane. Well, Chad, how else can we get past this? We're going to get past this. Business owners are worried, but then, they always have to come back with something.
Pretty soon, before you walk through the doors of the famed Cantor's Deli here in Los Angeles, you will have to show proof of your vaccination status. But even some of those who support this ordinance say this could make the tough job of running a small business through the pandemic even more difficult.
You think? Absolutely.
The owner here at Cantor's Deli, like many other restaurant owners, tells me she's extremely frustrated and upset. She points out not only will she have to monitor her customers' vaccination status, but also her employees. And she worries that could further devastate her business. But others say it's worth the cost.
You always say who the others are? The others are the people that aren't involved in whatever it is that you're doing. They want to speak for you, right? That's their goal, is to speak for you. Say, well, the alternative is worse. What? What do you mean the alternative is worse? Well, the alternative is worse. What's the alternative? We could shut down completely. That's not happening again. I think we're all past that point. Unless there's something that is killing the absolute super healthiest among us at a full clip, it isn't happening. But this is where we're headed in some places. And LA is, to me, it's insane. We're going to mask, got to do this. I'm watching the game the other night, and two back-to-back days, right? So you have Sunday afternoon, you have the Rams playing the Cardinals. 70,000, I don't know what the SoFi Stadium holds. Beautiful stadium. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Fans, all of that stuff. I didn't see a mask in there. Then Monday night, 70,000. Chargers, Raiders, I did see masks, but they had nothing to do with actual masks because Raider fans were everywhere. And you know how Raider fans like to get dressed up. That's their going out gear. You and I may have other going out gear. That's their going out gear. I got this. I got a spike on my head. I'm going to put the Jason mask on, but it's black and it says Raiders, just win, baby. I'm going to wear football shoulder pads, no shirt, paint myself black, a giant chain around my neck. I'm going to look like an extra in Mad Max. This is my going out outfit. There were 70,000 people there. The pushback's coming. The pushback's real. And it's a solid group of people from both the left and the right. And it's not a pushback at being anti-vaxxers or it's a pushback. We've had enough. It's time to get going. It's time to move. It's time for us to get moving and realize this is endemic, not pandemic. We're not going to fix this thing by hiding from it or trying to control the people because you can't control it. Nature, as we always say, will mess you up, but nature's going to do what nature does. As we always, we go back and we always quote Jeff Goldblum, nature finds a way. And it will. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. So much stuff to get to today. A ton of stuff. Some usual crazy stuff. Other stuff just odd to say the least. And what a game last night. We'll touch on the drama.
Reyes on 2-1. Taylor. Fly ball to left and deep and gone!
We'll touch on that as well, because the one thing baseball brings that is awesome is drama. But you got to sit through 162 games to get there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. My Pillow has my slippers. My slippers. So it took 2 years for them to put this together. It is incredible. And first, you get this amazing slipper in your choice of moccasin or just the regular, slip-on style. Then you get your choice of colors. They got all this amazing different colors to choose from. It is faux fur on the inside and this leather suede on the outside. Now, here is where it is awesome. It's indoor, outdoor. Now it feels, this is nice, toasty. It's amazing. Three tiers of cushiony sole. You get the patented My Pillow fill. You get the incredible memory foam. And then you get a soft gel made from soybeans here in the United States of America. Oh, yeah. Incredible. You are going to love these. 50% off, 6-day money-back guarantee, 1 year, limited warranty. Wear them indoors, outdoors. Go to mypillow.com. There's a radio listener special. Click on it. Click Benson. Just put in Benson. Benson. You're going to save big. Check out all the deep discounts on everything else, but save big on the My Slippers. 50% off right now. MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
You stink like fear and white male privilege to me.
I do often out myself verbally as agender. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm proud to be agender.
Are you stupid? What? Are you kidding me? Not a great way to use your white privilege.
Some people get it, some people don't.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
After 3 straight weeks of increases, the number of Americans filing first-time claims for unemployment assistance dropped last week to 326,000. That's about as low as jobless claims have been since the pandemic started. There are still about 4 million people receiving some form of jobless aid. A broader picture of the health of the labor market will come on Friday with the September jobs report. Economists expect employers added to their payrolls by about 500,000.
Yeah, so we'll see what that looks like. All in all, a little bit better. And I think it's going to be still an interesting year, fourth quarter, because this is where businesses make hay. A lot of businesses, it's that big push. You have got the holidays here. People usually start to spend big. They're starting to put, things away. They're starting to purchase things. And now the big push is coming. We're going to get through Halloween where we'll spend a ton of money, which we like to do because it's Halloween. Then all of a sudden, the focus starts to get real. We're already starting to see it. I don't know if you've heard this, Phil, but some radio stations already flipped to Christmas music.
It should be after Thanksgiving.
There's always one that does it, right? And then once one does it, they all feel like, well, they did it, right? It's the thing we always talk about. Like, somebody's going to resurrect a dinosaur, and everybody's going to say, you shouldn't play God. And then once it happens, like, well, if he did it, we should all do it. Next thing you know, dinosaurs everywhere, which to me, totally cool with. Nobody else is. Speaking of that, guess what I'm doing this weekend, Phil? Tomorrow night.
What are you doing?
I'm going to Dino Wrestling.
What is that?
So this is amazing. So Dino Wrestling is this incredible thing. They travel around. It's called Jurassic Fight Night, where these giant dinosaur suits, the ones that make it look like you're walking with the dinosaurs, they come out and they wrestle. And it's like it's in a ring, and they all have names, and it's just they have referees, and it's awesome. It is awesome. And you got to pull for it. They got Rowdy Roddy Raptor, Steve the Spine Crusher Spinosaurus.
That's fantastic.
It's funny because they give them MMA boxing gloves. And so like the T-Rexes will fight. They can't hit each other with the gloves. It's so awesome. Oh my God. That Harry the Hammer Utah Raptor, Timmy the Tank Triceratops. So we're going. So tomorrow night, it is going to be awesome. So we got the Devastator finding El Tigre, the Hammer taking on the Matador. So somebody's going to eventually do this for real because, insane. But just to let you guys know, it only takes one. And once somebody does it, we're like, all right, we're all doing it. We're all doing it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Christmas, what's it going to be like? We're going to touch because this supply chain thing is very real. It is, as some are saying, unprecedented. And when you see what it affects and how it affects so many parts of industries that you wouldn't think about, you're like, oh, I never even thought about that. Especially as we become what? More technologically advanced. It only takes one little thing for everything to get out of whack, if you will. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. I am so excited. I can't wait to see all these things. The Spine Crusher versus the Skull Basher. Rowdy Roddy Raptors fighting tomorrow night. And they've got women. The Aristocrat versus the Bone Collector. The Countess of Cold, Claudette. Oh, man. This is my dream. This is. I'm bummed because Jack can't come because he's at home. School started up, and so, like, last year he was able to be out here at certain times of the year because he was doing, schoolwork from home. He can't be there, but I told him we're going to take a bunch of pictures. He's going to have fun. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Bill Maher, what are you saying, brother? Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Video posted to Twitter appears to show Timothy Simpkins fighting with another student in a classroom and a teacher yelling for help. Seconds later, shots were fired and Simpkins was on the run. And while the 18-year-old appears to be the aggressor in the Twitter video, family friend Carol Harrison says
he was scared. He was afraid.
She says the teen had the gun for his own protection. 4 hours after the shooting, Simpkins, with an attorney, surrendered to police.
Yeah, and yesterday it broke, right? So it breaks, and, everybody's figuring what everybody figures, right? Because you could just go and say, oh, what is it? Well, it's probably some pissed off white kid. No, it was a black kid. And they said during the first press conference, this was not like somebody walking in off the street or somebody who was, ready to kill him. This was a situation that they knew each other. Something had happened earlier in the day. And that's kind of where they gave it. And the family's since come out and said, look, he'd been picked on at school for wearing nice clothes. He'd been robbed. And of course, the always usual.
He was scared. He was afraid.
Yep. And how nice is he?
Loving person.
Of course he is.
Being that he's been around his grandmother, his loving mother, they taught him to love, and he was a giver. Mostly up until the point to where he got into his senior year.
And then something must have happened.
The decision that he made, taking the gun, we're not justifying that. That was not right. But he was trying to protect himself.
And so he's the victim now. So a 15-year-old who apparently he was fighting with is in critical condition. A 25-year-old, I think it was a teacher, is fine. And a pregnant woman who I guess was injured in the melee, and another girl, both of them not shot, are going to be okay. And I'm sure we'll find out more about this. But it's just like that. He's a victim. It's like, and maybe he is. That's not the way you handle things, but maybe he has been victimized. Or maybe not. I don't know. But the rush yesterday, and the minute it was that they had kind of identified everything, the minute they had identified all that was, like, oh, okay, here's what happened, and there's not, 20 kids shot and dead, and it was an African American. It was like, gone. News is like, nothing to see here. Not a thing. So we'll see what comes, but it just, the media is, by the way, trust in the media is even now, right? So even with, Trump's gone and, the insanity of the last 4 years and the chaos and craziness everywhere, trust is at its second lowest on record. I'm an independent. I always tell everybody that. I will continue to be so. In fact, yesterday, one of the things that came out of here in Arizona is Other is closing in on Republicans as the largest voting bloc in the state. Other. 950,000 Republicans. It's about 935,000, give or take around there for Other. And I think it's 800 and some thousand for Democrats. But Other is in the lead soon here in this state. It's crazy. I've always I voted for Democrats. I voted for Republicans. I have chosen not to vote in certain races because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired. Producer Phil and I had to talk about this. I don't want to vote against somebody. I'm at the point now is if I don't feel these people are up to the task, I'm not going to vote. I'll vote on the issues, right? If there's bond issues, things of that nature, those things. But if I feel that the people running in certain positions, I'm just not voting for either of you. I'm sick and tired of voting against rather than for. But I look at independents and how they view certain things because that's how I view it. And I think, media being number one. This is great. Gallup poll, 36% in the U.S. have a great deal or a fair amount of trust in mass media. Of that, mostly Democrats, 68% of Democrats, 31% of independents, and only 11% of Republicans. That says a lot. We get that. We get that with the Republicans. You had 4 years of a lie that they continued to push out there. You had 4 years of a fight between Trump and the predominantly left-leaning media. So that's understandable. But trust has continued to fall. In fact, you go back to 1999, 55% of Americans had a decent amount of trust in the media. And then it falls off in like 2017-ish. Ooh, 2016-ish. 32%. Gets back up to 45%. Right around 2018, and then has since plummeted. Why do you trust? It's hard to, right? When you've got to go to 12 different media sites and sources to push together the puzzle pieces because not everybody's telling you a story that you think is real, that's hard to trust in any of it. Speaking of polls,
how the American people think Joe Biden is doing as president. These new poll numbers, frankly, are brutal for the president. In this brand new Quinnipiac poll, only 38% of Americans approve of how Biden is handling his job compared to 53% who disapprove. That's the lowest approval rating Biden has had since taking office. Another striking number, only 39% of Americans approve of Biden's handling of the economy. 55% say they disapprove of the job he's doing on the economy.
Wow. That's huge. It's the economy, stupid. I keep telling you over and over again, it's the economy, stupid. At the end of the day, if you feel that your life's good, right? You're paying your bills. You're not having to sweat as far as, oh my God, am I going to be able to pay this? Do I have to rob Peter to pay Paul? Do I have to borrow money? What am I? If you feel that you're doing okay and that the future looks like it's going to be solid and you're not worried about tomorrow, that's good. That takes a lot of pressure off. It's like sports. I've been in locker rooms where tons of dysfunction going on. But the winning solves the problem. The minute the winning stops, that dysfunction magnifies. Right now, coronavirus, immigration. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's not good. Two big things not working. Inflation, couple that with what's happening in the world of finance. Is there going to be a bubble that some people, you got the debt ceiling, infrastructure, all of that stuff gets magnified over the fact that people are looking around saying, I don't think this Christmas is going to be very good, and we're struggling here, and you're not winning. If people feel like they're on solid ground, if people feel like that tomorrow's going to be just as good, if not better, they're okay. But the minute that starts to slip away, everything else becomes magnified and they turn.
When asked, is Joe Biden an honest president? 44% of Americans say yes. 50%, a plurality, say no. And one of the most damning results of all, more than half of the American people, 55%, say the Biden administration is not competent in running the government. 42% says the administration is.
Those numbers are brutal. Absolutely brutal. Incompetent. Incompetent. You know, we always talk about in politics, would you ever rather have somebody who was sneaky and not transparent, but competent, or incompetent? Those numbers are ugly. And it's not getting any better. And now you've got states, in particular certain big states, California, New York, that are clamping down even harder when it comes to vaccines, when it comes to all of these kind of things. You're getting a lot of pushback from business owners who are like, look, we've suffered for the last 18 months. Now you want us to do something else. And while they may even agree, you've just made my job 10 times harder. You've just made everything else 10 times harder. And you're also giving people opportunities to go, you know what, let's go eat over here rather than here. Let's go see a movie in this place rather than there. He's struggling. And immigration, I'm telling you, in the coming days, I was reading yesterday, there's a small town in Colombia that has 20,000 Haitian migrants that are heading here. It's a beach town. Residents there are like, we don't even know what to do. We've essentially had to leave our village in town because all these people here are sleeping everywhere. And they're heading here. And he's ignored the entire thing. And then you've got the continual nightmare that's happening that I can't blame completely on him because nobody can, which is the supply chain nightmare, which plays into, yes, the economy.
To understand the problem on the ground, you first need to see it from the air.
We're flying right over the anchorages just south of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach.
This is where the global supply chain meets the U.S. economy, says Coast Guard Commander Stephen Bohr.
It's record-breaking. It's unprecedented. There are more ships than there are parking spots. We are effectively operating a cell phone waiting lot in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah. And think about that. All of those things have products on them. Products that are waiting to be taken from point A to point B. And by the way, people waiting to take those things aren't getting their pay either because they're waiting for them to be unloaded so they can put them on their trucks and take them from point A to point B. That is tough.
This bottleneck of container ships, as far as the eye can see, carries more than half the made-in-Asia items purchased by the American consumer.
You're looking at all of the electronics. You're looking at all of the home goods. You're looking at all of the things that people are looking forward to buy this coming holiday season.
Yeah. And they're just sitting out there, just floating around. These poor guys have been on the ship for how long now?
American consumers are back, buying with force, but the supply chain is struggling to catch up. While shoppers click 24 hours a day, factories in Asia are still stopping due to COVID. Then in the U.S., national labor shortages and limited work hours. The Port of Long Beach is just now experimenting with round-the-clock operations.
What this is a wake-up call for all of us in this industry to realize you can't operate with the model of yesterday. We need to have an Amazon state of mind in this industry.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that need to change. One thing that this thing has done, this COVID, the pandemic that has now turned an endemic, is, I think, make us think about how we want to consume in the future. We are a consumer-based society. We love what? Stock them deep, sell them cheap. We don't want to overpay now for what we think is something that is disposable. But we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to pay a little bit more to have a little bit more control? Something to think about. And the other side of it is, too, think from the geopolitical side. Us doing something like that helps us in several ways, including puts pressure on China. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. It is incredible to see how much energy my older dog Doodle has. So all this is a supplement. Think about this, right? You and I, we all take supplements at some times in our life. And as you get older, you take supplements. When you get younger, if you're an athlete and you take certain things. This is what this is. It's got vitamins, minerals, vegetables, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, digestive enzyme, all this amazing stuff, non-GMO. It is just so amazing. You sprinkle on top of the dog's food, they love it. But what it does do is it helps with their joint pain. It helps with things like arthritis. It helps with their coat. It gives them energy. It is truly a game changer, and it has been for my dog Doodle. Get yours without paying for it. They're going to send you a bag. All they want you to do is cover the cost of shipping. RUFFgreens.com/Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad, or call 833-MY-DOG-77, 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
Dead or alive? I would pick Harpo Marx. I would pick George Carlin, Rodney Dangerfield, and Flip Wilson I loved. Those are all dead. Well, live, I would pick Chris Rock, Dave Chapelle, Sebastian Maniscalco, Jim Gaffigan. Oh, a funny lady, Kate McKinnon.
Better put a lady in there. Jerry Seinfeld talking about his favorite comics. He said Dave Chappelle. Chappelle's in trouble. He's got his new Netflix special out called The Closer. And the LGBT community is mad. It's funny, in one of the trailers, he says, look, comics aren't supposed to be nice. They're supposed to be funny. And sometimes we say stuff that's funny and it's mean. But it's only funny because it's mean and it's not personal. But apparently he says gender is a fact. Oh, my God. Now, here's how they fact check some of this stuff, which is insane. He says every human being in this room, every human being on Earth had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on Earth. Then they said, conspicuously negating C-sections, which makes up a third of all births in America alone. That is a fact. Get over yourselves. I think what he's saying is you had to pass through the female, right? Like, not talking about the outside, talking about the inner parts. Chapelle goes on to say stuff about anatomy. Trans women, genitalia are not quite what it is. So Glad's mad at him. Of course they are, because they're never glad, by the way. Have you ever noticed that? They are never glad. He defended J.K. Rowling, who, of course, has been, attacked. Although she had the best line ever when they said that they should burn all of her books. And she says, you know what? I agree 110%. You guys should go to the store, buy all of those books, and burn them. He goes, in our country, you can shoot and kill a blank word, the N-word, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings. Just, that's what makes him, though, is he goes right at it. And it's funny because I guarantee almost 90% of people in the LGBT community are probably laughing. But the ones who make the noise are usually the ones who get people to pay attention to. The difference, Glad, is you run into somebody who's tough to cancel, no matter how hard you try. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet, text, Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The need to raise the debt limit. We haven't failed to do that since our inception as a country. We need to act. That's what's called the full faith and credit of the United States. Let me be clear. Raising the debt limit is paying our old debts. There's nothing to do with new spending. There's nothing to do with my plans on infrastructure or building back better, both of which are paid for, but they're not even in the queue right now. It's about paying for what we owe and preventing a catastrophic event.
That's the President of the United States, Biden. The debt limits. The debt limits. What will we do? Well, McConnell's kind of said, hey, look, let's see if we can figure something out for a smidge. Remember, the debt limits were suspended a couple of years ago, the debt ceiling. They're like, we're going to suspend this for a little while. We're going to suspend this, and then we'll go from there. Well, here we are now. We've moved, and it's now the game of blame. Both sides love to point fingers at each other as if they just woke up one day, and the other side was the only one who did anything to cause us to go into trillions of dollars in debt.
We're at this point because Republicans in Congress blocked efforts by Democrats to raise the debt limit and protect the full faith and credit of the United States, despite having voted for it 3 times during the Trump administration. We're at this point because Republicans in Congress treated the savings accounts and retirement savings of the American people, Social Security checks of retirees, and veterans' benefits like a game of Monopoly, putting the stability and security of the American people at risk.
Yeah, they did vote for it. And then you guys finally suspended for a couple of years. And let's be real. The thing that they did was unprecedented in some cases. And everybody got a little something out of it. We're still trying. Just to give you guys an idea of the amount of money that was tossed around as both sides like, I can't believe that you guys won't do it. But both of you did it. Both of you did it. There's so much money floating around out there. The amounts of cash. Last week, we had a report here in Arizona. Was it 30%? And when all is said and done, it'll probably be in the mid-20s. But billions of dollars was paid out to people who are not citizens, not here in the United States, overseas. They were duped. Unemployment. COVID cash is sitting in schools right now. They're like, we don't even know what to do with it. It's got to be used to fight COVID. I mean, at this point, you might as well say, why don't we just get every kid their own bus? I mean, that's the insanity. We had so much gobs of money. There are things that we have to pay now. These are things that we've already agreed to pay. Okay? So we haven't bought the new car yet. We still got the old car. We're looking at a new car, but we got the old car. We haven't agreed on buying the new car, but we do have to still make the payment on the old car. That's what we're agreeing to. And by the way, both sides co-signed, and now they're looking around thinking, why do I have to do this? Because you agreed to it. The other side's like, well, it's their fault. Yeah, but you signed on the dotted line too. So get it done. Get it done. And then on the other side of stuff, we're still trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do with infrastructure. Joe Manchin?
I don't believe that we should turn our society into an entitlement society. I think that we should still be a compassionate, rewarding society. I think that fares best for all of us. But compassion means taking care of those who can't take care of themselves, whether they're young, they had some type of a challenge in life, whether it be mental or physical. Those are responsibilities that we have, and we will continue. This is going to take time to get this done. Getting it done quickly is not going to benefit anybody, so let's make sure that we do it and do it right.
Yeah. Let's make sure we do it and we do it right. It's that simple. There's a lot of money. I mean, here's the thing, and I think this is something we forget. It's like I talk about with immigration. If you really knew the number, if you saw the number, we saw 15,000 people or whatever it ended up being underneath a bridge in Del Rio, and we're like, well, that is insane. 1 or 2, 5 or 6, you don't think much about it when you see a crowd like that. But if I was to tell you and put 34 million or 11, whatever it is, you're like, oh my God, we can't have that anymore. No, no. That's a no, right? It's the same thing with this. The amounts are so massive that we don't comprehend because all it is a statistic on a piece of paper. That's it. So get it right. But it's other people's money, so talking about it because we can print it. We were talking last week or earlier this week that if we got super desperate and it didn't look like McConnell was going to move forward with anything and eventually it was going to flounder and that we were going to, screw up everything in the full faith and credit of the United States, that we could mint $1 trillion coin. It's not real, but the consequences are. Right now, you're not going to get Joe Manchin to budge. Kyrsten Sinema, what goes on behind the closed doors, we don't know what she wants. I think people know what she wants, and I just don't think people want to get on board with it. But the infrastructure bill, and what she wants is for everybody to pass her first bill, and she doesn't want to go deeper in debt, and she's got every right to push back. And we should have that. But like everything else, you look around and it's just all a fight. Nobody's really trying to solve problems in a real mature way. We're not. You can do the same thing. I mean, you look at the border crisis, right? Can we just be real with ourselves? It's a nightmare. Right? We kind of all ignored it it's like putting on a little bit of weight. Putting on a little bit of weight, you're in pretty good shape, but you don't see the pound here or the pound there, the 5 pounds, over at Christmas, and then you work a few off, but then you put another couple pounds up, but you don't really feel it, and then lo and behold, you wake up and you're 40 pounds overweight. That's how I did it. But if you woke up tomorrow and you were 40 pounds overweight from the day before, you'd be like, something's going on wrong.
This is a humanitarian crisis. It's a public health crisis. It's a national security crisis. And right now, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris refuse to do a damn thing about it. Joe Biden won't even go to the southern border. And Kamala Harris refuses to go to the Rio Grande Valley, the epicenter of this tragedy. This tragedy needs to end, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris need to follow the law.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to. And why they're not is beyond me. I don't know why you can't address it. Nobody. You can be a staunch Democrat. You can even be a progressive and think to yourself, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a more humane way. But we can't just have open borders. And you can tell me these aren't open. What exactly does open borders look like now? If this isn't open borders, what does it look like? Well, we would have no guards. We'd have nothing there. I think it's a fair question. What exactly does it look like? Because now all it is bookkeeping. Not going to get done. But if you saw it in front of you, if you looked and you said, and we said, it's the number I continue to go back to. For years, people have said, what? It's 11 million. How long has it been 11 million? How long has it been 11 million? How long? A long time. So you mean it just doesn't vacillate too much? Never went up, never went down, maybe a little bit, nothing big? Come on. If I said today there was 32 million, I think people go, well, that's a different story. That's a different story. I mean, we're on pace for what? 2 million? 2.5 million that we're going to know of? If you saw it in front of you, you'd probably change your mind. It's the same thing with money. If you swipe your card and it's $1,000, $2,000, you're like, because it's a digit that you don't see. If you have $2,000 there, a lot of times you'll hold on that cash a little bit longer. Nobody's interested in getting things done because the consequences in many cases aren't real to many of these people that are making the decisions because it's statistics. But they're real to the people that are trying to come here. They're real to the people to be affected when it comes to the infrastructure bill. They're real for a lot of people. Those consequences are. But to politicians, it's just another opportunity to yap their trap, raise some money, and stay in power. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. MyPillow has the amazing mass slippers. They're incredible, ladies and gentlemen. They are. So 6-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. You can wear them indoor, outdoors. They've got the slip-ons, the moccasin style. Great Christmas gifts. And this faux fur on the inside, which is so soft. It's incredible. And on the outside, it's this awesome suede leather. It's just great colors to choose from. But the thing that separates them is you can wear them indoor, outdoor. And you can wear them for quite a long time. They've got memory foam. That is sandwiched between the MyPillow patented fill and this amazing gel that has been created through soybeans grown in the United States of America. Right now, 50% off for you. Simple and easy. Go to MyPillow.com. The promo code is Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. You're going to save 50% right there. You will love these. They got deep discounts across all of their products. Check them out from the MyPillow to the Giza Dream Sheets to the towels to the mattress topper. And yes, 50% off the My Slippers. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let us start in the magical world of Twitter. Pfizer, BioNTech asks the U.S. to allow COVID-19 shots for children ages 5 to 11. It's trending right now. Red Sox announcer appears to mock Giants ex Farhan Zaid. Everybody needs to relax. McDonough did not. Sean McDonough, who's a great announcer, the way the guy said it really fast, it says, the GM's name is High Anxiety. Everybody needs to blanking relax. Oh, he said something that he needs to go. Needs to go. Quinnipiac. Whoop. The poll is out, and Biden just wants to put that poll over there. His best bet is to not hear the poll if he wants to start his day good, because I don't know what's more disturbing in the poll, the fact that his numbers are that low or the fact that a majority of America thinks his administration is essentially incompetent. Yeah. I think that's worse. Head on over to Google. Dodgers last night, walk-off home run against the Cardinals. 3-1 winners. Zodiac Killer, cold case group, and we're going to touch on this in a bit, believes that they know who the Zodiac Killer was. Terrorized San Francisco and parts of Northern California, late 60s? Nobody ever knew who the person was? But a cold case group that was investigating another murder believes they have found, apparently, who this person is. Chances are he's not living anymore. I'm just saying that. Tina Turner's trending because she sold her music rights to BMG yesterday for, I think, $50 million. Which is good money. It's not like she's broke. She lives in Switzerland. I believe she's a Swiss resident as well. And if I'm correct, not only does she have a gank of cash, I believe her husband is also a well-to-do, if you will. Just a smidge. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Not going to lie, I enjoyed the excitement.
Reyes on 2-1. Taylor. Fly ball to left and deep and gone! Chris Taylor, a walk-off home run. The Dodgers are walking off to San Francisco. They win the wild card 3-1.
Yeah, so they won the wild card 3-1. Dodgers' record was the second best record in baseball by only a game. That team, the Giants, that's who they play next. So the Giants, for having the best record with 107 wins, your reward for having that best record is playing the team that had 106 wins, now has 107 in a series. That's your reward. I think they need to reseed. If either of those teams were in any other league, any other division of baseball, they win it not only going away, but so far away. In fact, I think they would have been 20 games better almost than the Braves, who won their division. Insane. So congratulations. That'll be awesome. That's a great series. And what is it? Well, you had the Yankees, Red Sox. Now you've got the Giants and the Dodgers. So heated rivalries, drama. It's the postseason. You know what's not fun? 162 games, of which 100 of them are meaningless during the season. You would think, but then when you lose by one game, well, it makes you think. Maybe one and done's fun. Maybe that's what they should do. They should just have mini seasons where they're one and done. Mini tournaments. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
After 3 straight weeks of increases, the number of Americans filing first-time claims for unemployment assistance dropped last week to 326,000. That's about as low as jobless claims have been since the pandemic started. There are still about 4 million people receiving some form of jobless aid. A broader picture of the health of the labor market will come on Friday with the September jobs report. Economists expect employers added to their payrolls by about 500,000.
Yep, it's the jobs. Always remember that. It's the jobs. It's the economy, stupid. When things are good, the economy's good. Rarely do you have, things are great, but everybody's broke and poor. But you will have, I'm not happy with certain things in my life, but, I got a roof over my head. I got money in the bank. I'm not worrying about where my next meal is coming from. So, it is what it is. Rarely, if ever, you have any situation where people are like, but it's okay for all of us to be living hand to mouth and starving. No, if we're happy about where we think we're going, if we think we've got opportunities, if we're not worried about, where our next paycheck's coming from, if that stress is removed, everything else is livable. You know what I mean? Minus health situations. I'm just talking about the day-to-day, the groups of folk, if you will, all of us. On the other side of things, when the economy's not roaring, when people are not feeling comfortable, if they're worried about tomorrow financially, and everybody's going to have that worry, minus a few group of people, at some point in time, but you know what I mean. Everything else seems bigger. Everything else is a trigger. I've been in locker rooms. You watch it all the time. How many times have you seen, for years, Brady and everything was great, and he leaves and they dynasty in 20 years and the whole 9 yards, and then you find out afterwards, it wasn't always roses. You know what covers all of the warts up? Winning. And right now, Biden is not winning. In fact, he's not just losing, he's losing in such a way that even the chaotic, crazy CNN will do anything, lives for Biden, hates Trump crowd has to actually go, ugh.
How the American people think Joe Biden is doing as president. These new poll numbers, frankly, are brutal for the president. In this brand new Quinnipiac poll, only 38% of Americans approve of how Biden is handling his job compared to 53% who disapprove. That's the lowest approval rating Biden has had since taking office. Another striking number, only 39% of Americans approve of Biden's handling of the economy. 55% say they disapprove of the job he's doing on the economy.
55%. 55%. That is massive. But it gets worse, especially when it comes to two things. Competence, immigration.
When asked, is Joe Biden an honest president? 44% of Americans say yes. 50%, a plurality, say no. And one of the most damning results of all, more than half of the American people, 55%, say the Biden administration is not competent in running the government. 42% says the administration is.
That is, to me, so damning. But let's remember, he came in with Build Back Better. He came in with Unite. He came in with, we're going to take this thing and we're going to get past COVID, and it's going to be all of these things. And you start looking at the numbers and you're like, doesn't feel too much different than when Trump was in office, except we're fighting maybe a little bit less. Right? Doesn't feel too much different when it comes to that COVID. No, not really. I mean, the numbers, it's because of the unvaccinated. Well, that's the other thing. He's turned right. We've gone from the battle that is Trump and to mask, not to mask, those kind of things, to those people now are the evil vaxxers, unvaxxed battle that we have. Take all of that away, though. right? And just throw it all up into a giant pot. Are you competent? Is your administration competent? No. No. He's got to figure something out. And, I've been calling for a while. I think it's time for Fauci to go. Not that I think Fauci's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think a new voice is needed. You've got a 4-year contract with the American people. Think of it this way. You're the GM of a team. You got a 4-year contract, but you're also the manager. You're running everything. You're the coach, the GM, everything. People are tuning him out. His message is all over the place from, well, we'll have to see about Christmas this year, right? You got the CDC director saying, well, maybe you can go trick-or-treating, but, don't go indoor. I mean, the message is everywhere. Then he comes out the next day. Says, I didn't say that. That is one of 100 examples of change from A to B being completely tone deaf while stadiums are full, while people are living their lives. He's tone deaf. At some point in time, you change, right? You're not changing the horse. No, we're not doing that. We're going to change the jockey. You've got to start making some decisions that I think if you really want to, start reaching people, because he comes on, everybody tunes him out. A year ago, people listened. Now they're like, he's been all over the place. We shouldn't need to worry about it. It's not coming here. You don't need to worry about it. To masks don't really work. To, well, I lied about the masks don't really work. To, I didn't give any money to anybody who gave money to Wuhan. To find out, I did give money to give people to Wuhan, but it didn't work on that. All of those things, after a while, people have had enough. But it's not just that. Let's switch over to what's going on at the border. You task let's see if we can get this thing under control. Immigration, it's never going to be fixed by one person, but you tasked a certain amount of it to who? To her, your vice president. And she has been useless. So somewhere along the line, you got to start making choices about certain things. You also said, well, inflation's temporary. Now people are going, it's probably here for a while. You said no mask mandates. We would never do mandates. We would never have vaccine passports, but that's what we have now. Passport side of things, some of it's federal, but the mandates are real. These are all things that people are starting to ask questions. You can't even get your own infrastructure bill through, and the infighting's huge. People are starting to look at you and say, can you do this? I'd like to think he can get some stuff done. I want my president to succeed. But the reality is I understand where people are coming from. You're not getting rid of him today. So you better start thinking about, okay, do I need to move on from some of these coaches? Do I need to move on from some of these people that people aren't listening to anymore that can bring me fresh ideas that may get us moving in a certain direction? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Speaking of vaccines, Golden State Warrior Andrew Wiggins not happy about said vaccine.
So, Andrew, I guess we'll just kind of start with what's obviously been kind of the news of the week. Is there anything you want to say just about the decision to go through with it and get vaccinated?
I feel like the only options was to get vaccinated. It was a tough decision. Hopefully, it works out in the long run. In 10 years, I'm so healthy.
Yeah, he was not happy about it. He was unhappy. He did not want to get vaccinated. But in California, Oakland in particular, in certain places, if not vaccinated, you will not be playing home games. Goes the same for New York. In New York, you've got the Brooklyn Nets, and they're not sure what Kyrie Irving's going to do. They're not sure. They're unsure about whether or not he's going to get the vaccine. And by the way, he may have already. The guy's he's an odd cat, right? He's a flat earther. He may even have it, just doesn't want to talk about it. It's none of your business, which I've got zero problems with. It is none of my business. Well, what if he's unvaccinated? Well, I understand that I'd be around people that are unvaccinated, right? I'm going to be around people that are vaccinated. I've done the things that I thought was best for me and my family. All the while, I'd still caught the damn thing. We never talk about natural immunity. Remember yesterday, we were talking about it's debate yesterday with on the air with my partner for my local show, because he's very much into mandates. He's very much into masking all the time. He's very much into a lot of these things. And he was trying to say, look, you know what? The lady that's not going to get her kidney in Colorado, at least at the UC, University of Colorado Hospital, because she's not vaccinated, and neither is the person who's giving the kidney, that they're in no way, shape, or form is she going to get her kidney from them. And he was trying to point out, well, you know, it's because, look, the mortality rate for some of these is very real, and maybe they're worried about it. I go, but this lady here's already had it. We've discounted natural immunity 1,000 times, and we need to stop doing that. And they're like, well, yeah, but the kidney could go to somebody else who they think may take better care of it because they're willing to get vaccinated. And I said to him, the kidney's going to nobody else. The lady's not giving the kidney to anybody but her friend. And they said they will not be giving vaccinated organs to people who are unvaccinated. I said, so you mean to tell me that if you're waiting for a heart and there's been an accident by a 24-year-old riding a motorcycle doing something stupid and they have his heart, God rest his make-believe soul, and you're vaccinated, but that person's not been vaccinated, that you're going to throw the heart away because you're standing on some sort of bizarre moral ground BS? Sorry, throw it away. That guy's unvaccinated. This guy's going to die from a heart thing, but he won't die from COVID. So stupid. It really is. This is why we can't have nice things. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. If I'm Biden, I start to look to make changes, bring in fresh faces. Good news is, you know, the Senate and them have agreed to a partial pause on the debt ceiling, at least through, you know, parts of December. So that'll buy some time to get something done long term. But at the end of the day, if you're in a situation where more than half the country believes that you and your administration are incompetent, not capable, and the economy stupid is at 38% of favorability for you, meaning a majority of Americans, a vast majority of Americans, think you're doing a bad job, you better start figuring out what you're going to do. And you're not leaving. You're not getting rid of your vice president, so you might want to start making some changes. Because even if it's small in nature of what they may even believe what the person is doing that they're going to replace, fresh face, fresh voice, for a lot of people, causes them to have a different little pep in the step. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. All the time I give it to my dog for breakfast, for dinner, sprinkle it right on top of my dog's food. It does amazing things. It's given my dog so much more energy than he has had since we have had him. He's long in the tooth, and he's not long for this world. The reality is he should have probably been gone a year and a half ago. But since we started giving him Rough Greens, his life has changed. He's happier, he's healthier. It's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, all these amazing things, and it has given him a new lease on life. More energy. His hips don't hurt. His fur's in better condition. The allergies don't bug him. It is awesome. Try it before you buy it. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You pay for shipping. They give you a bag for free. Roughgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
So James Bond's new movie comes out
When you
tomorrow.
have diabetes, insulin is like water.
What is
Without
that?
it, you'll die.
I don't know. That's
Now
crazy.
ima-
That must have been me. Oh, that was. I forgot to tell you guys. Chuck Schumer and them they got together at Mitch McConnell. And they decided, hey, look at this can. Let's kick it down. And they kicked it down the road. And I was just reading the story there, and that's why that thing popped up. But they're going to do it in December. And as Phil says, why don't they just pass a budget? Because they can't. They can't even agree on if night is dark. Is it dark? Well, it's night, but is it really dark? No. They can't. They can't agree that the sun is hot. So what did they do? They punt. Is what it is. New Bond movie comes out, doing quite well worldwide. It'll get its debut this weekend here. Again, I've never been a Bond person. Last one I saw, I think, was View to a Kill. Was that Roger Moore? I don't know. I think I might have saw. No, you know what? It was the last one I saw wasn't Roger Moore. It was the other guy. It was the guy that nobody talks about. Was it Timothy Daltrey or whatever his name was? Yeah. That's the last one. I haven't seen any since.
James Bond. Rami Malek is the bad guy in No Time to Die, telling us it wasn't easy for him to identify with his evil character, so his way in was to
make Bond the villain, make Daniel the villain. Every time you see him, think, he's not really great at his job. You're even better.
But in real life, Daniel Craig is great at his job. In this, his last Bond film, Malek says Craig was a leader on set.
When you have that type of integrity, it really drives people to do their best. And that's what he gets out of you. He's a special type of actor.
No Time to Die is out in sneak previews tonight.
I couldn't. First of all, when I hear Rami Malek now, all I think of is you still sound like Freddie Mercury from Bohemian Rhapsody. Secondly, playing a villain's the best part. You ask anybody in the movies, they'll always say playing the villain is so much fun. Because you usually get to be over the top, usually get to be crazy, usually get to say all kinds of nutty things. You get to be, it's awesome. Yeah, the hero's great at the end when it does, when the hero does cool stuff to win. And that's if the hero wins. Look at Bane. Yeah, Bane. All things said, though. It's hard for me to get into character. What's my motivation? A paycheck. Could you imagine if that was you every single day? Honey, you're going to be late for work. Honey, what is my motivation for baling hay? What is my motivation for being an accountant? What is my motivation? Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Senate is moving forward the plan I laid out yesterday to spare the American people a manufactured crisis.
Guys, we've averted the nightmare. The debt ceiling will be moved. The crisis will be moved. We will kick it forward to early December. We have moved this crisis for another 8-ish weeks. Then we can say We have averted this.
We have reached agreement to extend the debt ceiling through early December, and it's our hope that we can get this done as soon as today.
I'm so excited that we did it. I can't. Thank God. It is manufactured. You guys are the worst. It's not even, you're not even good at being bad at this. It goes back to do your job. Oh, this isn't our debt. It is your debt. I have to explain it to you guys again and to the American people who don't quite understand. Well, this is all the Democrats' wash. Here's how it works. Both of you co-signed for a car. One of you had a little bit of the money. The other one had better credit. Right? And you argue over who gets the car 4 days one week and 3 the next. So both of you guys signed for the car. But now you're looking at another car. And you're thinking, ooh, I might want that. That's a truck. Oh, wow. Would you like a truck? Oh, man, we'd like a truck. But you still have the other car that you have to make payments on until you trade the car in and get a truck. You're not paying for the truck right now. You're paying for the car that you already bought that you still have to make payments on. And both of you guys have your name on the contract. So get over it. Act like adults, which is almost impossible, and fix stuff that's broken. Shouldn't be that hard, but it is. Why? Because you're idiots. You're hyper-focused on things that don't matter when there are issues out there that we could take a look at, but you never will because, well, again, you're you. Not a lot you can say about that. All that being said, jobs, 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 jobs.
After 3 straight weeks of increases, the number of Americans filing first-time claims for unemployment assistance dropped last week to 326,000. That's about as low as jobless claims have been since the pandemic started. There are still about 4 million people receiving some form of jobless aid. A broader picture of the health of the labor market will come on Friday with the September jobs report. Economists expect employers added to their payrolls by about 500,000.
Yeah, there you go. Keep doing what you're doing. Right? Keep muttering along, hoping that things are going to change. And the reality is right now we're in this kind of bizarre holding pattern because the country's not really motoring the way it should be. It's just not. Let's be honest. We've got an economy that is, well, what is it? Stagflation. You got shrinkflation, stagflation. We're paying how much for gas? I paid $3.24. It should be like $2 right now. Talking to my uncle yesterday. He's like, dude, gas near $5 here in California. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I mean, most of that's taxes, but still, you're paying ridiculous. Producer Phil, you live out there in Arlington, Virginia area. What'd you pay?
My normal gas station is $3.09, but we have a discount one where I get it for $2.88.
There you go. Even here where we have the AM PM, it's normally, 15, 20 cents cheaper, and they're not. They're still at $3, and there wasn't anyone near me today. Now, by my house, I'm paying $3. But where I get on the freeway, I am surrounded by four giant truck stops. Catty-cornered from each other. I mean, throw a baseball at all four. You know, the Flying J and Pride and all the big. So it's always a little cheaper. But at the end of the day, people are feeling it. The pinch is real. The economy is kind of floundering. And we're going to take a deeper look into the nightmare of what's sitting in our ports that has nothing to do with a broken oil line. It has nothing to do with a sea monster. It has nothing to do with anything like that. And all due to the fact that we can't get some of these ships onto the shore, if you will, their product and get it moving. We have a supply line chain that is completely broke. The economy is struggling, and the stuff that we are buying, we're paying more and getting less. People start looking at the president going, what are you going to do about it? And then you got the nightmare at the border, which isn't helping, and coronavirus. California's like, I got a great idea. Let's keep Newsom in, and he'll start really rocking it. Lo and behold, he has. He starts clamping down even harder. Vaccine mandates for every child. My mom's like, nope, sorry, pull the kids out of school. You're either going to be homeschooled or you're going to go to private school. So that's where my mom is, it's nuts. You're not for kids getting the vaccine? I'm for parents making a decision of what parents think is best for their children. That's what I am for. Me. Do I think it's going to be evil and bad? I do not. Do I think it's going to turn you into a monster? I don't. Do I think overall pro-vaccine or whatever, the shot? I am. I'm pro. I got zero problems with it. I've got Moderna and I've had the thing. So apparently I'm pretty stacked up against this thing. But all things considered, I think human beings have to make their own decisions and what's right for their family. But now you've got LA's mandates. Remember, this is the largest county in the country. Used to be no shirt, no shoes, no dice. Now it's no vaccine passport, no negative test, no dice. Gonna go to a movie? Better show me your passport. Want to go into a restaurant? You better show me your passport. You want to go to the gym? You better show me your passport. You want to go to a mall? A mall. First of all, are there malls? Secondly, better show me that. It's crazy. Parents are pissed. I mean, here they're like, the FBI needs to look at the parents who are angry because we think it's domestic terrorism. I'm like, that's domestic terrorism? Parents that are angry, idiotic, and emotional at times? That's domestic terrorism?
This article says that for the kids to go back to school, they have to be f***ing vaccinated. Are you f***ing kidding me? Where the fuck do you have the right to tell us what to do with our kids, Gavin Newsom?
If you're f***ing liberal and you're a friend of mine, get off my page. I will not unfriend you.
That guy's a terrorist. Settle down. He was being, I think, funny there. But still, some people are angry like that. Oh, they're domestic terrorists. No, they're not. Domestic terrorist. My goodness me. That's where we've gone. And that's how the media is prepared. I'm like, so wait, they're domestic terrorists. But if the lady that follows a senator into a bathroom filming her is a hero. Yeah. People who are protesting and burning down buildings are not. That's not the people in Chicago that are being held hostage in certain areas of the city. That's not terrorism? Well, no, it's because enough. Stop with the baloney. Really. 323-538-2423. All at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet us. We're going to have Biden's poll numbers. Let's just say Biden's poll numbers. Biden's poll numbers are so bad. Like, so bad. Like, so gnarly. Cop Rock. Remember Cop Rock? Yeah, worse than that. Best, worst show ever. Still the greatest, worst show. Every once in a while, I'll say that, and there'll be somebody out of earshot going, what's Cop Rock? And then I go, I got to show you Cop Rock. And then the next thing you know, I'm watching one of the 8 episodes. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. And if you've never seen Cop Rock, see Cop Rock just once. Type it in. Imagine Hill Street Blues meets CSI, and it's a musical. with drama in the middle of it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of drama, there you are. Oh, baby. You're ready, right? You're ready. You're ready to step up to the plate. Now is the time. Oh, my Lord, this is it. I'm going to hit a home run. She's into me. Now is the time. Swing bat about. Oh. You don't be that. Don't. Be the hero. Don't miss. Fix your ED, simple and easy, by going to GetRoman.com/Chad. GetRoman.com/Chad. First, you're going to save $15 off your first month. You do everything from the privacy of your own home. U.S. licensed healthcare professional. They're going to find the best treatment for you, and if treatment is needed and medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. Whole process, straightforward and discreet. GetRoman.com/Chad. Fill out an online visit, take care of your ED without having to leave your home, and win the day and the night. Go to GetRoman.com now. Save $15 off your first month. Look, straightforward way, take care of your ED. GetRoman.com/Chad. GetRoman.com/Chad. Get started now. Save $15 off your first month treatment. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Thursday announced Democrats and Republicans have reached a deal to avert the U.S. defaulting on its debt through a temporary increase in the debt ceiling through early December.
We have reached agreement to extend the debt ceiling through early December, and it's our hope that we can get this done as soon as today.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell chiming in to say the deal is close to a vote and claimed full credit for saving the American people from default.
I want to hear that again.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell chiming in to say the deal is close to a vote and claimed full credit for saving the American people from default.
The ego of these people is so tremendous. Oh, goodness me. I don't know if you guys know this, but I saved America's credit score. You did?
Yeah, I saved everybody's credit score. Full faith and credit of the United States is Mitch McConnell's job, and Mitch McConnell did it right.
God, that ego is spectacular. I expect nothing less from these groups of people, where everything is hair on fire, except stuff that needs to be actually addressed, and when they do their job, they want you to laud them as if they are truly the Avengers, and they just figured out how to go back in time and kick Thanos' ass. Fantastic. Fantastic. Speaking of back in time, last year we had no flu season. This year?
With modest flu virus activity since March of 2020, CDC's flu experts are concerned that reduced population-level immunity to the seasonal flu could place us at risk for a potentially severe flu season this year.
Sweet mamma jamma. So you're telling me because we didn't leave, we didn't go outdoors, and the kids who spread the flu a lot weren't, for the most part, gathering together like they were before, and they were masked in some cases. And because of that, we didn't build up that immunity to said flu, that we could be facing an enhanced flu world. Oh, my God. Coupled with the coronavirus, this would be crazy. Yeah. That's why Moderna, get the Flovid. That's going to be their thing. First, you asked for the flu shot. We gave it to you. Then you asked for the coronavirus shot. We've given it to you. So you've got the COVID shot, the flu shot. We've put them together in one massive pack sheet. It's called the Flovid. Get the Flovid. You will love it. So that'll be next. This is where we are in our country, kids. This is where we are, the Flovin. It's frustrating. I get people are frustrated. I get frustrated. Like yesterday so I'm forced. I'll give you guys a little, I won't have time. I'm going to tell you guys in a minute, like what went down here yesterday and where my position on things is, because I think a lot of times because you're not pro mandates that sometimes that somehow you're anti something, which basically is the world we live in now, right? If you're not pro something, you're anti something. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. And that's the difference between somebody like me who is truly, I am a headstrong independent in just about everything I do in life. I am. And I've always been that way. And that's kind of the way I was raised. My mom wanted me to have, a good head on my shoulders, but she also just let me kind of do my own thing. And I'm headstrong, independent in a lot of ways. And I look across the board at everything. But I will tell you, yesterday they sent something down here, and I'll tell you where I stand on it. But I'll also tell you, this is how that you understand and you respect. You can be frustrated, and you can understand and respect other people's views. Talk about it straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
For the first time in my life, I am playing to a mixed audience. I was in Nashville about a month ago, and the audience was about 60-40, I would say, liberal to conservative. That never used to happen. Never. And I think it's because, 10 years ago, the left did not have a crazy section. There was no such thing as woke. And now they do have a crazy section, which I call out as a liberal. And I think I'm kind of one of the only people doing that. So there's a hunger to hear that.
Yeah, there is. There is a hunger. First of all, two things. Let me tell you. First and foremost, and right now, Chapelle, they're coming for him because GLAAD has drawn, as they said, the digital line in the sand because in his new special that came out yesterday at the closer, stuff about the LGBT community, the trans community they didn't like, and he defended J.K. Rowling, who they didn't like. So, they've come out, and many of them probably, by the way, went off a reaction from a report. They didn't go off actually seeing it, as that happens. But welcome to the world of wokeness and weirdness. But here's the most important thing. Dave Chapelle and Bill Maher would be irrelevant except for one thing. They're funny. They're talented. That's it. If you don't have talent, you don't entertain. It doesn't work. And he's right. Then the rest of it gets thrown in there. People are sick and tired of walking around on eggshells. People are sick and tired of wondering when the next person that they like is going to be canceled for something they said 25 years ago that somebody thought they overheard somewhere. And because of that, that person's in trouble. That's why a lot of people love the likes of like a Dave Chapelle. Why? He's pretty much uncancelable at this point in time. Outside of doing something sexual in nature that you shouldn't be doing, outside of criminal things, there's not a lot that you're going to get him on because he has built a situation where he's built kind of like Rogan has, kind of his own army. And they live in that world and they love him and they're not leaving him. And they come to expect it. So you being crazed or angry doesn't do anything to hurt their feelings, and it doesn't do anything because they control their destiny. So many other people, right? They control their destiny to a certain point, but the reality is they're beholden to somebody. They are. A lot of these other people, even Bill Maher to a certain extent, is beholden to HBO. Me, I mean, I have people that advertise on the show, but I live in a different world than most. But I also realize the business I am in, if I scream louder, said things that were a little bit more, I think inflammatory and just to get a reaction. First of all, I believe that's completely disingenuous. And secondly, I also live in a business in the talk radio world where you don't hear the Geicos of the world and farmers and Coca-Cola. They stay away from all of that stuff. And the wokeness has caused them to do that. Controversies caused them to do that. And they go out and they listen to, the interwebs. And if, 5 people tweet something that they think should be addressed, they'll kowtow to them. And it continues to happen over and over again. And that's why it is what it is. Audience size doesn't matter anymore. No. What matters is, who's staying away from controversy and how they view you. And I'm fortunate in some senses because when you go to the advertising firms, they don't look at me as strictly a political cat the way they do others. Because we're going to talk about baseball a little bit. We're going to talk about football, right? Which I love. I'm excited. Big game tonight. Huge game, right? Normally, you're not quite sure what you're going to get on a Thursday night, but you got a big game. It's like a lot of good stuff, and I talk about all kinds of things. Movies, we talk pop culture, because I live in a world of reality, not in a world strictly based on politics. But that's kind of it. So everybody's kind of beholden. But you get some people out there that are fortunate enough that they're able to hold their destiny in their hand. And I'm fortunate enough because I have other companies and I have other things. And, but there's stuff where I realize that, like when I do voice stuff, there are people that won't want to work with me because of what I do. First of all, they look down on anything radio because they're actors. And secondly, because I am not insane. And many of them live in a world of, you've got to say this, you've got to socially justify yourself here, even if behind the scenes you're anything but, as long as it looks good. It is what it is. But we're all beholden in some ways. Right? Netflix could cancel Chapelle, but they're not going to. And they're enjoying this, whether you guys want to believe it or not. The reality is like, oh, great. Yeah, he's pissed people off. Now more people are going to go watch to find out what he said. But yesterday, we got an edict comes down from the powers that be. Now, I'm in a different situation than most. I'm my own boss. At the same time, we've worked a deal out here where I host a local show as well, me doing my national show. I do my national show out of here. They've been kind enough, and they're an amazing company, Bonneville, to allow me. In saying that, I wasn't thrilled by it, what they're asking in some ways. I feel some of it's intrusive. But I also realize that they're kind enough to do this, and I'm in a position where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to I may voice my displeasure, but I respect what you're doing based on the fact that I respect you and I understand why you're doing certain things with mandates and things of that nature. It's the reality of it. It is. And, we're seeing it. Are people, Andrew Wiggins talking about the fact that, he got the shot begrudgingly. He's a basketball player and he was not happy. He got the shot. He was not happy.
Storyline is done. You're playing this season. Does that feel good to just get behind you?
It feels good to play, but getting vaccinated, that's going to be something that, stays in my mind for a long time.
Yeah. Will you have a sour taste in your mouth towards organization, towards the league, towards whatever?
Not towards the organization. They make the rules. You don't own your body. That's what it comes down to. I guess they make the rules of what goes in your body and what you do. Hopefully there's a lot of people out there that are, stronger than me and keep fighting and, stand for what they believe and, hopefully it works out, for them.
Yeah. And there are people out there. Look, I'm a believer in science without politics. Just tell me, give me the data, let me make up my own mind kind of scenario, what's best for me. Because remember, just because you say it's safe for everybody, a majority of people, doesn't mean you may not be the minority of the people that may have some issues with it, whether it's religion or whatever, and in a sample size of 1 million, yeah, it's completely safe, but are you that 1 in 50,000, or is your religion, preclude you based on your faith and belief that you wouldn't want to do that? And it's real, not I just don't want to do it because I want to show, trying to get around it. Well, I have to answer questions, And the funny thing is, and I read an article, I can't remember what it was the other day. It was just one of those, like the Inquisitor. It was one of those. It was a very good article about the fact that a lot of people who are vaccinated are cheering on the people that are pushing back. Because a lot of people that are getting it begrudgingly. They're feeling like they're forced to get it in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, I am pro getting the shot because I think anything that can mitigate something that could be extremely disruptive in your life and potentially, for some people out there, be the end of this, you'd be foolish not to. But I'm a big believer, more so, in freedom than mandates. And I think we should all be. We should. And I'm even a bigger believer in actually, it's the biggest belief of all right here, kids, in personal responsibility. I know it's crazy, but I'm a huge believer in personal responsibility. Some people can't be trusted. I'm not asking you to be personally responsible for them. I'm asking you to be personally responsible for you. Yeah, but other people I don't care about them. That's what I tell my son. I don't care about them. I care about you. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Remember, tomorrow I will have my picks. I got one pick because there's a game tonight, and I don't want to be one of those hindsight pickers. So I will give that. We'll also talk about the awesomeness of playoff baseball. Playoff baseball is drama. It's like a movie. It's a slow burn, and then you get to the playoffs, and there's drama. And there was drama last night for the Doyers. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, your getter. You know what I'm talking about. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
Thursday night football. You guys know I enjoy the football. This one is so far, I think, the best of all of the Thursday night games. There's some good games this weekend, but this may be one of the best of the weekend, and it starts tonight. The Rams coming off a loss. Cardinals went in to SoFi Stadium and absolutely crushed the Rams. They'll be taking on the Seahawks up in Seattle, 2-2. It is a division game. Those are always entertaining. Tonight, I feel a comeback for the Rams. I see the Rams bouncing back and getting a win. We'll have all of the picks tomorrow, but I'm super excited. I will be watching that one. I was telling my wife, I just this time of year is tough for me because I get here and it's dark, and I leave and it's dark, and it takes me a couple weeks to kind of acclimate myself to that. But I love the fact that football's on, and a couple weeks from now, the time change will be perfect because I will get home and I'm not taping the game or seeing, the middle of the third to the fourth on Thursday night. So I'm pumped about that. Last night, speaking of sports, look, I joke about baseball. I don't have a super love for baseball in some ways. And part of it, my dad played baseball. He played in the Cardinals organizations and the Angels organizations back in the day. And he never pushed me to play. But we were always Doyer fans. We were always Doyer fans. And I will tell you this. There is nothing like the drama of postseason baseball. It's getting a little crisp outside, right? This is when heroes and legends are made. Baseball, I've always said, is a slow burn. It's absolutely a slow burn comparatively to basketball, hockey, soccer. Even now is the look. Soccer is, let's be honest now, it's probably overtaken hockey as far as the third or fourth biggest sport. You've got baseball, you've got the NFL, basketball, and then you've got soccer. It's probably bigger than hockey. But when baseball is dramatic, and let's be real, the Dodger game last night was dramatic. That's what baseball is. Baseball is drama. It's like a movie, right? Some people like those arty, kind of slow, dramatic movies. Some people like me, you know what? I'm like, ooh, piece of candy. I like big. I like action. I like horror movies. But when drama's done right, it's awesome. And last night, Chris Taylor was drama. So were the Dodgers. 6 games they won during the season. If they would have played in any other division in baseball, not only would they have won it by running away with it, understand this, they would have won the Eastern Division, which I believe the Braves had 88 wins, by almost 20 games. And instead, they were the wild card team who had to have a play-in game to get into the playoffs, and the reward is they get to take on the San Francisco Giants, who had an out-of-nowhere, unbelievable year. But when you talk about drama, 1-1, bottom of the ninth, you're looking for the hit, you've struggled, man on second, away we go.
Reyes on 2-1. Taylor, fly ball to left and deep and gone! Chris Taylor, a walk-off home run. The Dodgers are walking off to San Francisco. They win the wild card, 3-1.
Drama. It was awesome. Absolutely incredible. Loved it. Loved it. Fun to watch. And it's great because this morning, as I'm heading in early, the guy in front of me, he's got his big truck, he's got the big truck, and it says on there, he's got SD for San Diego in the back window, and then it says on his license plate, Dodger hater. And I'm like, 323-538-2423, at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. I was telling Anthony earlier today, thing about baseball comparatively to other sports when it comes to certain things like superstitions, all athletes usually in some way, shape, or form have a little bit of superstition. You see it in sports like, soccer when they come across, especially in Italy and in the Latin countries, well, do the sign of the cross and so certain things like everybody's got superstitions, the way they put their shoes on. Basketball players, baseball players, though, take the cake. Jock Peterson, former Dodger, well, he likes his pearls.
He's a slugger for the Atlanta Braves who's brave enough to wear pearls? He's accessorizing. Pretty sure Jock Peterson just became the first Braves player to homer while wearing a pearl necklace. The Braves themselves are having fun with sweet mother-of-pearl tweets. Fans are marveling. Jock Peterson out there smoking cigars and wearing pearls. Outfielder joins icons who are partial to pearls, like Jackie Kennedy.
The thing I care about most.
Yeah. He has fun with it. Again, baseball players are odd. And he says, I've tried a lot of things. I just go back to Bull Durham, right? Then they have, let's get him a bucket of chicken. He was wearing all these weird things to try to get. But there's just certain things. Baseball players are odd. More so, I think, than just about any hockey players, hockey goalies in particular. Goalies in general in sports tend to be a little bit weirder, but Jock is fun.
When first asked about his new penchant for pearls, Peterson said it's a mystery for everyone. He assured a sportscaster there's no story, they're just dope, that he tried the chain thing and it was too hot and heavy. Peterson wears his pearls while staring at pictures the way Audrey Hepburn wore hers, staring at Tiffany's windows. One fan noted, pearls go with everything. Will pearls turn Peterson into the Dennis Rodman of baseball? As one fan joked, if you like that, wait for him to steal third in heels.
Yeah, funny. Love it. Makes me laugh. Solid fun day as usual, people. That's what we do around here. We're going to do it again tomorrow, as always. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet and text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Check out Getter, Gettr. That is where I'm at, too. Trying something new, because that's what I like to do. We will do it again tomorrow. And you know what I see? I see Friday. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.